live in your parents' house?
No.
Do you live in your parents' basement? Okay,
I do not.
This whole idea of living in, people found that to be insulting. What did you think? Did you find that to be insulting, Caroline?
Well, I don't live in my parents' basement,
Right.
and I am a very optimistic proponent of the power of millennials.
Right.
So my perspective on our generation is always through the lens of being responsible for solving a lot of the issues that we have here in the world and being change agents.
So you didn't care? It didn't bother you. What about you, Kirsten?
I think she's actually right. I think that a lot of millennials, too, are cynical enough to look at themselves and say, yep, she was right, too. I don't think they're going to be offended by her comments, per se.
Right.
And also, they liked Bernie Sanders because of his message, not necessarily like the cult of personality around Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
right? So as long as I think that they feel like she's willing to take up the helm, and she's, championed all kinds of progressive issues, as well as, keeping on with the free college thing. So I think that on messaging, she's on board.
Look, there's no question being in your 20s is hard because when you don't have the job, you don't have the money to get your own apartment. I mean, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I wonder if, as a generation, people look at that and say, well, that's really, making a statement about a broad group of people that may not necessarily be true. How do you feel about it, Christi?
I think a lot of millennials get easily offended, so I'm not surprised that a lot of people felt offended by it. And I just think that that's kind of where we are as a generation. We're going to school longer. We have crazy student loans, and that's, a lot of people. I still live with my parents, and they help me pay off my student loans and live with them. And
by the way, I lived with my parents for a long time. Before I decided to get my own apartment, because it just made sense.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with that, but still some people did get annoyed at the reference. So we'll see.